Do you think black people trust Fauci?
It depends on who they listen to.
Can you play this clip, Rob?
You know, it depends on what you take
I want
in.
to show you two clips. Go play this clip. Go ahead.
How you guys doing with vaccine?
I haven't gotten it yet. I'm waiting for them to be able to.
Oh, you should get it first. Okay, that way you won't give it to them.
Oh, I thought I would give it to them if I get it.
No, not at all. In fact, we got to get you vaccinated so that if you were to get infected, you could pass it on to them. So you're actually protecting your family by getting them vaccinated.
Well, I heard that it doesn't cure it, and it doesn't
That's true.
stop you from getting it.
No.
So
On the very, very, very rare chance that you do get it, even if you're vaccinated, you don't even feel sick. It's like you don't even know you got infected. It's very, very good at protecting you.
Just the Anacostia, so get up there. Okay.
All right, see you later.
Thank you. Have a good day.
The people in America are not settled with the information that's been given to us right now. So I'm not going to be lining up taking a shot on a vaccination for something that wasn't clear in the first place. And then you all create a shot in miraculous time. It takes years to create vaccination.
Well, it used to take years.
Okay, it used to.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science to get us to be able to do it.
20 years is not
quickly.
enough. And 9 months is definitely not enough for nobody to be taking no vaccination that you all came up with.
The only reason I'm talking to you right now, as close as we are, is that I've been vaccinated.
Right.
But if it allow thousands of people like you don't get vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country and in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And not like
It's much more serious than the flu.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none, but the previous year, about 20 to 30,000. You know how many people have died from COVID-19 in the United States? 600,000 Americans.
The number that you all given that died, that's once again, that's you all's number.
you going to pass.
Yeah, definitely.
right.
Because when you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, there's something else going on with that. Something else going on.
It
with
is
that.
something going on.
There's something else
You're
going
right.
on.
But I'm glad millions of people like me and most everybody here didn't get an incentive. You know what their incentive was? Protecting their health and protecting the city.
Well,
but I won't keep you anymore.
It's okay, because my incentive, y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. You all attack people with fear. That's what
Dude,
this
the best
pandemic
part is he
is.
keeps
It's a
talking
fear.
shit
It's
while they
fear, this
walk away.
pandemic. That's all.
You knew there was a camera.
By the way,
But just how beautiful is that, man?
for sure.
Dude, I gotta, after this, I gotta go down to Baltimore. I gotta, with that video, and try to find that house so I can just salute that guy. Isn't it just amazing that, what's crazy about it is here you have Fauci and these local Baltimore politicians going through the hood in Baltimore, knocking on doors, and they're wrecking him. And it's not even like, listen, with hindsight 2020, because at the time, they were putting out the video and mocking these dumb black people in the inner city don't know what's going on. They were right. And Fauci was wrong. And Fauci was totally, it should be, I mean, you should lose your license. You should be shunned from society. For him to make the claim, to look at somebody when none of the trials and none of the data at the time supported this idea that if you get it, you might get sick, but you won't even feel it, and you can't give it to anybody else. This was nonsense. And I heard, actually, by the way, Jay Bhattacharya, who wrote the foreword to this book, he said at the time, he goes, whoa, Fauci is way overplaying his hand. Like, none of the data justifies him making this claim.
It's not none of the data.
It is.
Here's where they were wrong, okay? They weren't wrong. Here's where it didn't become what they wanted it to be. Look.
No, they were wrong.
Here's where
I
they're
know
wrong.
many people who got the vaccine and got COVID and were very sick and gave it to other people.
So
they
later
were wrong.
variants. With the later variants. So do I. I know people too. You'd be surprised.
By the way, these
What I'm
are, just to
saying
be
is-
clear here, just in case, because all this time gets muddled together, okay?
Yeah.
These are the later variants. The vaccine was not available for the first variant, okay? The vaccine was not available. These are all the later variants are what we're talking about here.
No, that's not true. You had
It
it for
is.
the second and third, and then it really dropped off. The first look, again, the idea that you guys enjoy the owning, I think, is part of the problem, okay? I know there's something satisfying about it, and it works great for media and for clips and to get you enragement. But it doesn't move the ball.
Chris, man,
It doesn't
dude, you're
move the
telling me
ball.
we could play that video of the way you and all your colleagues demonized the unvaccinated? Were they not trying to own us? It's only I'm sitting. I'm the
because
one who
not
wants to
getting
own.
vaccinated-
No, it's in response.
Not
it's
getting
in response
vaccinated
to all-
mattered.
Yes, it's in response to all of you guys trying to own us for years from all of
right.
the halls of
Okay,
power.
fine.
That now that you were wrong about everything,
Fine.
we're going to point that out.
Fine.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. Two things. One, vengeance. Good. I hope it feels good. If you think it's going to stop it from happening again, you're wrong. You're wrong. I don't think it's vengeance either. I'm saying if that's the instinct, you tried to own us, we're going to try to own you.
We hear both sides, you hear one.
That's not true. But that's why I'm here. Okay? And that's why I have a show that has guys like you on more than any other show on television. Okay?
Change the definition of vaccine to fit that vaccine.
It is
Now,
true.
They
did change the
changed the
of
definition
vaccine.
of vaccine not for this vaccine. They changed it. They changed it when they started doing RNA. This is technically not a vaccine because it doesn't make you immune. Now, here's what they got wrong. They do the testing in record time, right, which nobody was upset with when Trump was president, but it gets done.
Lots of people
They
were.
have they were quiet. 95% they say efficacy. What did that mean? 95% was severe illness, symptoms that you could recognize that may hospitalize you. That's what they didn't have, not sick. They then took that and made it into a cell of, so if you take the vaccine, does that mean like polio, you don't get it? No. That means that even if you get it, you won't be that sick. And then here's the mistake they made. Because you don't have that much virus in you and you're not that sick, you probably won't pass it on to somebody else. And that was a big part of the cell that became less and less true over time. And the messaging didn't stand.
Okay,
And you
but
would
by the
call
way,
that a therapeutic.
But well,
That's
by the
right.
way, just
at best.
as somebody who was, you know, and I agree with what you're saying. We were in different positions. You were the #1 show at CNN. I was doing a podcast on the internet. But as somebody who was not in that bubble that you were in, and was talking to experts who were outside of the establishment, the idea that there were going to be variants of this virus and that the vaccine would do a worse and worse job with all of the variants was the easiest thing to predict.
That's not true.
And experts did predict this.
That's not,
Yes.
no, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying that the people they were using to do the measurements did not see it. And then
No, the people
when it
you were
happened,
talking to didn't. The people I was talking to did see
you were,
this
so you were
coming.
talking to people at the NIH and the CDC who was doing
No,
the
that's the
testing?
whole point. I wasn't. So I was talking, but
Listen.
there were plenty of experts outside. See, this is the problem here, Chris, is that you, which is the exact opposite of what the journalist's job is to do, is that you hold up here the government officials as if they're the real experts and nobody else is an expert.
That's not
I
true.
just gave you a book that was written by Tom Woods, has a degree from Harvard and Columbia, and the forward by Dr. Badia. He is a professor at Stanford. These
Okay.
are legit experts, okay? They didn't work for the CDC or the NIH, but the job of a journalist is to always start from a place of skepticism toward those in government.
There's no question about it. And when we went down and it started to change, I wish that I had been more aggressive about that, and I wasn't, because I didn't see it. Now, I've had a lot of time to read into this, especially because of my own sickness. And I see things that most people still don't know and haven't been reported on. I'm one of the only people who reports on long COVID.
Sorry I was an asshole.
I'm sorry you were an asshole.
Not bad. Not bad.
My point is this. My point is this. I don't need to have these conversations. They don't particularly rate well. I get a lot of criticism from people in power. I get.
Good. That should be a badge of honor, man. You're a newsman, right?
It depends on the look. You don't know me, okay? The
true.
idea that I am conflict averse is silly. The idea that I don't test power is silly. What I'm talking about here is you are pretending because you can. You have the luxury of not worrying about what happens when you say what you say. I work for a place that will get a phone call from someone that they care about, okay? It will matter to them. And you can say, well, they work for this 3-letter agency that are all, bad
Chris,
people.
if I had, let me tell you something. This is what's really infuriating about you saying that, right? I understand the pressures at CNN where powerful people could make a phone call and then you could be in a lot of trouble.
No, it's just an
hold on, let me
accountability
here,
proposition.
let's talk accountability. If I had your track record on COVID, I'd be out of business. Period. No one would listen to me anymore. I would have no way of making
I would
money.
argue the
I'd
reverse.
be ruined.
I would argue the reverse.
Absolutely ruined.
If you didn't
I
tell
had been-
people that there were easy ways to get past COVID and that the vaccine was a joke and everything that happened was a joke, I don't think you'd be in business. I think if you weren't doing these things, I don't think you'd have the same platform because it sells very well in digital media.
No, I mean, it's just, first off, I never said the things that you just said. The thing is that, yes, you're right. Me being against lockdowns, against mandates, against the corruption of big pharma, yes, that did help
No,
me,
and
for
the
sure.
vaccine. You don't think people should have taken the vaccine.
I already said that I do think there was a group of people early on who should have taken the vaccine.
But what is that group?
I said already, I'll say it. I think old, sick people who had never had COVID.
And the people
I
who
think
were
there
with
was
them?
strong, No, I don't agree with that. But
Really?
I think there was a strong argument for that demographic. By the way, old, sick people who had COVID, probably unnecessary to take the vaccine. Your likelihood of dying after you had already beat COVID once plummeted way, way down. Natural immunity is stronger than the vaccine, as it is with almost all
And by the way,
vaccines.
it's interesting you're
All of
saying
the studies show that hybrid immunity, which is having gotten it from the virus and also having the vaccine, is the best level of immunity. That's what the research says.
It's not true.
That's what the research says.
Yes, but to say what you're saying, my dad, when we were talking as a family on who should take the vaccine, should not, what are you going to be doing? Here's what we're doing. I'm not taking it. Wife's not taking it. Kids are not taking it. My dad, who's a conservative, took it. And he was 78 or 79 at the time when he took it. I think something like that, right? 4 years ago. He took it and he got the boosters. 2 years later, he got COVID and pneumonia at the same time at 80 years old. Literally. Do you remember that when he got COVID and pneumonia? How bad was it? Yeah, he was bad. But guess what? He's here with us at 82.
He's strong.
So there's a part of it, I agree. The fact that, for a certain section of a community,
Well,
I
listen,
think it
but
was.
and that's a good point, Pat, but
If you're watching this, the way you get to vote for today's debate so far, because we got a bunch of other issues we got to talk about right now with Trump, convicted felon, migration, dual citizenship. I'm not done. We're just getting started right now. You get to vote by sending a Manect to Dave Smith and to Chris Cuomo, if you can put their Manect up. Ask him any questions, anything you agreed with, disagreed with, papers, articles, whatever it is. This is the way to get connected with them. They're both on Manect, and they actually get back to people very quickly.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.